Welcome to the Self-Awareness and Self-Compassion Podcast, formerly known as the Full Spectrum Feeling Podcast. I'm your host, Blaise Schwaller, life coach, mom, and former tattoo artist. I help people heal their past, speak their truth, and love the lives that they're living now. Join me here every week for conversations on how to live an imperfect but fully engaged life that embraces all the feels so that you can stretch into your best life while enjoying the you that's here right now. Hey, welcome back to the Full Spectrum Feeling Podcast. Today I'm going to talk about working harder and just the myths and ideas that we have surrounding that. So what's come up for me is working with several people that feel like they need to be working harder. I often feel like I need to be working harder. I know in the podcast I've shared my vulnerability around feeling like I'm lazy and not doing enough. And I think it does tie back to this general concept that we have that working hard is a virtue. And we get taught this so early in life, like you need to work harder. If you just work harder at something, you'll get better at it. If you work harder, you'll get more done. Getting more done is always good. That's the more. Working hard is respectable. Working hard, even when it causes all of this other disarray in our lives, we know that we always get sympathy for it. Like, oh yeah, well, you were working hard. And we kind of rely on having that sympathy. And I think we find it kind of scary when we think that, what if we didn't work hard and then, things weren't going great in our lives and people blamed us for it? There is so much judgment being flung around, calling people who are in poverty, people who are having a tough time in life, people who are suffering, blaming them for that suffering and saying, well, if you only worked harder, this wouldn't be happening to you. And that is such a lie. It's so damaging. There are so many instances in life where working harder cannot fix the issue. It's not a matter of working harder. It's a matter of a systemic problem, or it's a matter of timing or opportunity. It often isn't the amount of effort that you're putting in. Sometimes it's just, the luck that you have to be where you are when you are and do a thing. And I think that's where this alternate reality comes from too, like the counterbalance to the work hard and it'll happen for you. The hustle culture, the counterpoint is everything should be easy. If you're meant to do it, it'll happen with ease. And, you don't have to put so much effort in, or you shouldn't be putting in effort at all. And both of these cause this dramatic swing on the pendulum back and forth. I see it in myself. I see it in my clients. We commit to working harder with this belief that that's probably the true right and just thing. It's good if we work hard. We know we need to do it. Followed by exhaustion, self-blame, frustration, man. So much frustration that the hard work either didn't pay off the way we wanted it to, or it's taking too long. We don't think it's actually working, or it's not working any better than working, just a decent amount. And then we think, well, is there something wrong with me? So then we switch to the other part, the other thought, and we do it because having that belief and going, oh, well, clearly I just need to follow my bliss and it's not working because it's not meant to work right now. I'll just hand it over to something else and it'll take care of itself and it'll be fine. And there's comfort in that. We want to be comforted thinking that something higher power is looking out for us. Something else is going to fix it for us. If we just let it all go, everything will flow. And that's, I think, equally dangerous, equally damaging, because then you're surrendering all authority, all agency that you have to make things change over to just letting it fly, letting it go, let whatever is going to happen. And then most of us can't stay in that state of mind for too long either, because we stay there thinking something is meant to happen for me. Of course it will happen. And once again, nothing happens, or it doesn't happen any differently than when we're just moderately applying ourselves to what we want. And then we get frustrated. Why isn't it working for me? This law of manifestation is not working for me. It's broken. It's stupid. I can't believe in this bullshit. And we get mad and we get judgy. And then we just start to point out all of the people in our lives that we suspect this is working for, but it's not working for us. And by the way, we do this in both instances. So we do it for the people that we think are being lazy and that just get what they want. They don't have to work for it. It's just handed on a silver platter. Their lives are so easy, blah, blah, blah. We hate that. We hate those people. We're jealous. We want their lives. And, we're judging. We're judging that they don't have difficulties, that they don't have problems. And, I'm going to say that's not true. Everybody has problems. Everybody has difficulties. We just, don't broadcast them to the world usually. In the same way that we judge the people who are working hard, when we see other people working hard and we're working hard and it's not working for us, then we get judgy with the people that we see working hard where things are going well for them, or we perceive that they're working very hard and we're like, oh, well, clearly like it works for them when they work 80 hours a week, they get ahead. Why isn't it working for me? It's just a difficult situation to think about because it's all based in this feeling of why isn't stuff happening for me? What could I possibly do to make things happen for me so that I can feel better and like myself and love myself? So what do I think? I think we all want to be able to love and accept ourselves. Most of us have trouble with it. Like, let's just be honest, right? Most of us are not number one experts at loving ourselves. We get to a certain point in life where we wonder like, gosh, why don't I like myself that much? Or we feel guilty when we do like ourselves. But the vast majority of people that I meet just aren't they're not their best friend. They're their own worst enemy, or they want to judge themselves, or they're working on that kindness. And I honor that so much because there's so much love and acceptance that we deny our own being. And it just, it happens. Life happens to us. We get hurt. We close ourselves off. We start to have these judgments about ourselves. And the really big one is about being worthy of existing, worthy of love. And somewhere along the way, all of us get smacked around, either physically, mentally, emotionally, all of the above. Life happens. Some bullshit happens to us. And we decide that it's not safe, that it's not safe to be who we are. We're going to either have to work harder or just follow our bliss in some other way and let things work themselves out. And one says, if I work really hard, I can correct all this and make it better. The other one says, if I can just let it all go, I can make this better. And both of them are reaching for the very same thing. Both of those energies are reaching for this state of acceptance for where we are right now. Both of them are reaching for some change in outside circumstance, some change in what we see going on around us before we think that we're okay loving ourselves, before we think we're okay having whatever we want, being whatever we are, showing our face to the world. All of that is about wanting to be okay just as we are right now. Oh, wow. I feel like putting my hand over my heart. And if you wanted to, you can do that too. And to just breathe into that feeling of just wanting it to be okay right now. Without working excessively hard at life, because that sucks. No one wants to work excessively hard at life. And without that part that wants to just give up and hope for it all to be solved by some outside force, because that feels desperate and cloying. It's looking for this outside rescuer and pretending that it's coming from us and our ability to let go. But what if, just for right now, no matter what, it's okay to like yourself. It's okay to like myself. Yeah. There's so much turbulence in our energy fields and our emotions and our thoughts around being okay to be just as we are. That it's okay for us to be in struggle. That it's okay for us to want something and not have it yet. That it's okay for us to get what we want. It's okay for us to not want it once we have it. We are nothing if not changeable. And the things that we want change all the time. I think that's the one guarantee that we have, is that whatever we want today, we're probably not going to want it as much tomorrow, or we might want it more. When we get something, we tend to just want a new thing. And we like sharing our experiences, and we like being accepted and loved. We like conquering things, for sure, like wanting to improve ourselves, challenge ourselves. But I think we don't want to get caught in that trap of saying that my worth in existing is caught up in how hard I'm working for things. And it's also not caught up in how easy it is for me to get things. I don't want to judge myself either way. Life is going to be hard, and sometimes it's going to be easy. And maybe that's just how life is. And equally, sometimes you're born into life and it's just hard. Maybe it's just hard all around, and maybe it's not getting easier, and maybe it won't get easier. Don't judge yourself on top of it to say that it should have been easier, and if only I attuned with the heavens, somehow this would all be easier. Don't hurt yourself like that. Just love yourself and give yourself the compassion to say, I'm living a life and it's just as worthy as anyone else's life. And my life is hard right now, and it's been hard, and it's moving in a hard direction. And my life is still worthy. It's still important. It's still worth living. I still find joy, even though it's hard, even though it's harder than it is for someone else. It's still okay to be happy and to share that with others. And it's okay to share my pain and my struggle. And it doesn't make me more or less worthy than anyone else. And for those of you suffering with guilt from having an easy time, because that's equally a thing, like feeling guilty, like, gosh, life has just been kind of easy for me, and I feel bad about it. What if it's not about how easy it is for you, but about how much joy you can share and how much uplifting you can share coming from that place of ease? You know, like, I don't begrudge people having an easier time of things. I just want them to be easy with me, to not spend so much time either berating themselves or self-inflating themselves for how awesome they've made it for themselves. Ooh, that's a thing. That's a thing. Having it easy and thinking that somehow you've made it that way, I think that's really tricky. And it's easy to do because, again, we really like the hard work thing. We want it to have been all our hard work that made it easy for us. And I also think that's some bullshit too. Sometimes things just fall into your lap and it's kind of awesome, and we should celebrate that, but don't think of yourself as this magical thing that worked really hard and made that happen. I think we like to trick ourselves a lot and inflate the importance of just experiences. Life is experiences. And we just need to experience them. I feel like I'm having one of those deep thoughts with Jack Handey. Does anyone remember that? The wise idiot is speaking right now. That's me. But anyway, those are my thoughts today about working really hard and about wishing it was all easy and judging myself for it not being easy and then judging myself for not working hard enough. And they're just so intertwined. And I want to let go of both of them because neither are serving me. And I highly suspect that they're not really serving you either. What would it be like to not worry about it in this deep manner that we do? If we weren't living in fear that if we were witnessed not working hard enough, that all would be over, that we'd lose all respect from other people. We'd lose our jobs. We'd lose our money. We'd lose our partners. Our kids wouldn't respect us and our legacy would be shit. What would it be like to not feel bad that life does require effort, though? On the other hand, what would it be like to not feel bad that your life demands you have difficult days? And that sometimes it's hard to just get up, do the dishes, make a breakfast, and just life that day. I've had, an interestingly complicated, rough week, and yet everything's okay. This is the complexity of life. And for me, I experienced it as this ridiculously challenging, stupid week where everything was going wrong, nothing was going right, and yet everything pretty much is resolved. Everyone's alive. We're okay. It's both easy and hard. Life is easy and hard. And it's just going to keep on going on like that. And I think the more that I'm allowed to just find my happy, to find my content, I guess I'm going to say that, find contentment, to be okay with that, the easier it is to be happy. Today, I was supposed to dedicate myself to furthering my career and furthering my ability to impact so many lives, right? This is a thing that I want, that I've put on myself, that I feel like will give my life more meaning than just simply existing. And I know everyone I've ever met has something equally like this that we put on ourselves and feel like, gosh, if we're not moving towards that goal, if I'm not moving the needle on that, then I'm failing at life and it's all meaningless and stupid. And then we discount all of the other areas of our lives in which we're actually making a difference for other people and doing nice things. So in my case, it's have you forgotten that you've been a supportive wife and that you've been a good mom and you've gone out of your way to help resolve all of these issues that have been happening for your pet, for the household, for your friends, that you've been there and you're doing the thing. But it all doesn't matter because I did not make the spreadsheet. I didn't make the slideshow and I didn't record the thing. How could I not have done it? Put in that perspective, it's just ridiculous. And I think, short of saving an actual physical life, there's not a lot that needs this much angst. It just doesn't. Oh, my friends, I hope that you are having a marvelous week, that you are not plagued with the existential crisis of feeling like you need to work harder in order to prove that you're worthy of whatever success you've gotten, worthy of whatever peace and joy that you have. And equally, I hope that you're not giving away all of the awesome things in your life over to just everything needs to just happen to you. Because I think we need to accept that we participate in our life and we help make good things happen. That they don't just happen out of nowhere. Bad things don't just happen out of nowhere, but sometimes they do, both times. So we just got to roll with it. I guess what I've been trying to say is that maybe working just hard enough is what we're striving for, or maybe what I think could be better. Maybe applying ourselves just a little bit, just a good amount, the amount that makes you feel like you've done something, not doing a P90X workout, oh my God, I think I'm going to puke. I've worked so hard and I'm going to have to do this again and again and again, and I'm eventually going to hurt myself. You don't want to be working that hard at everything in your life, but you also don't want to just float on your back in the pool and just hope that the current pushes you where you're going to go, because you might not know where you are and not be able to get out of the pool. You want to be able to be moving just enough, applying just the right amount of effort that you're calmly paddling towards that wonderful place that you need to go. Anyway, this has been a trip. I hope that you enjoyed coming along on this journey. I apologize for the rambling nature of this episode, and I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think working hard is a virtue? Do you think working just enough would be better? Do you think that not working at all is what we should all be striving for? And if you do, why do you think striving is important? Because that's working in my mind. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and share it with someone you love, and leave us a review. You can learn more and get some self-compassion tips and tricks by visiting coachwithblaze.com, where you can sign up to get my free booklet on overcoming anxiety, overwhelm, exhaustion, and burnout. I'm sending you so much appreciation and love, and I'll see you next time.